all checkmates are not created equal. And please don't argue with me on this. En passant mate is not the same as a ladder mate. You just can't compare the two. I really don't care what nobody says. You know how many ladder mates I trade in for just one of those? Like if you have the option to either checkmate with your queen or get a smothered mate, you get the smothered mate every time. Every time. And in this video, I might have a 2-for-1. This game I played a couple days ago. I'm gonna show it to you, and we're gonna talk about it. Like if you had to make a top 5, you have to have en passant mate in there for sure. You gotta have smothered mate. You gotta have a pawn mate. Ladder mate, that's somewhere on the bottom. You know, king and a rook. That's okay. But so check this out. Playing some dude from Mexico. I'm the white pieces, of course, and yeah, start off regular. What's what the heck is a square? E4, E5, regular stuff for me. C4, knight F6. Okay, I can bring my knight out too. Knight C3, bishop C5. Okay, protect my pawns. Then he puts pawn on H5. Interesting move. Yeah, this was supposedly a bad move for me. To put my pawn on F4, that is considered a mistake. But I'm gonna do it anyway, so they need to get over it. So he brings his knight to G4, threatening that stupid fried liver attack. And so easy. I just bring my knight out to H3, and now he can't do it. But he takes the pawn, which was a bad move, because now I'm bringing my bishop out, which is also considered a bad move. Right? And now he just blunders a pawn. And, sometimes I have dementia, so I don't see it, but I just took the pawn. Now he brings out his pawn on F6. And I put my bishop right back. And I'm starting to understand that counterattacks are vicious, man. Like, if you can come up with a really good counterattack, like it says, like that would have been the best move to put my pawn on D4. Counterattacks are so deadly. But, in a 5-minute game, it's like, do I want to waste time, you know, thinking through all the scenarios of what happens when I try to do a counterattack? If I have time for it, I do it, but not always in the beginning. All right. I don't know how long the game's gonna take. So hold on a second. He just see, this is that silly stuff. He puts his bishop on F2 for what reason? That was silly. I really I have no idea what that move accomplishes. Like even if I couldn't take him right here, I just move my king, and I don't think he has much of an attack here. I shouldn't have even taken his bishop. I just should have just let him do that silly stuff. But I took his bishop. He moves up a pawn. I take his knight. Now he takes back. I push my pawn a little bit. Now he brings out his other knight, and at this point, I'm looking pretty good actually, because he's got all these pieces just doing nothing. They're all doing nothing. Everything relied on that silly fried liver attack. Like anytime somebody does this, I get a little bit disrespectful. Like, and you're gonna see in this game, I kind of was a little disrespectful with how it ended. But when you play these silly openings, you kind of ask for it. So I push up my pawn. He takes me. Now this is where it helps to take a little bit more time to put thought into how to take back. When you can take back with multiple pieces, the best thing to do is see which one sets you up better. Because if I took with my pawn, I think that would have been a lot better than this. And you're going to see I'm completely missing this diagonal from the queen. I'm not even thinking about the threat right here. All he has to do is come here. It's check. And next thing you know, my bishop is unprotected. So I could have done maybe made a lot of better moves than what I made here. So he takes, and I should have brought my queen up. But I didn't even think, didn't even occur to me. So next move, he takes me with his rook. He's willing to trade stuff. For whatever reason, you know, I'm up right now, so I don't mind trading, you know. So I take back. Then he comes out and does this. And I'm saying to myself, oh shoot. So I gotta move my king. And I know it says, move your king here, that's the better move. I saw that this after he takes is gonna be a check. I didn't care. I didn't care. I was saying to myself, like, if I do this, I'm blocking not only my queen, but my bishop is restricted too. So I didn't like that move. And if anything, I could bring my knight over to block this line right here. So naturally, my opponent isn't that terrible. Took the bishop, put me in check. I move because I just wanted to move it over here anyways. So I can bring, the knight over, just do a type of castle, if you will. Now, he sees this check, so he does this. Was not a great move. Was not a great move. I move back, although it might have been better to move up. Next thing you know, he's taking this pawn on e4, and I'm pressuring his knight to move. He moves back. And by the way, right now it's a tie game because if you notice, he took my bishop and then he also took a pawn that I left there. Okay. So I move up my pawn to d5, putting more pressure on the knight, and he just moves it to safety. Then I come out, I put him in check. Okay. I put him in check again. And what I'm starting to see here, so what I was looking at in this game is I'm seeing this threat right here to his king. I'm seeing that his king cannot go to this e6 square. And I'm starting to have ideas to surround his king right here. I see he has his queen that can, take down here. So I'm kind of delaying that by putting him in checks. And I'm looking at this right here. I didn't want to do this yet because I felt like I want to push him to go in front of his pawns right here. If he goes to this back rank, he's not completely safe, but my pawn can only go so far right now. And I didn't like that my knight couldn't really get over here. My bishop is kind of, restricted right now. So I wanted to bring his king closer to my attackers rather than bring my attackers closer to the king. So, next move, he moves his king where I want him to go. He's kind of fallen for it because what he should have done, the best move was to bring his queen and just trade queens. But instead, he moved his king. And if I was in this position, I probably would have moved my king back. I, I would have traded queens or moved my king back because that's just the type of if you come over here, it's over for you. Like as you can see, the evaluation bar, like as soon as he did this, it was mate in four. It was mate in four. Now, am I dumb enough to miss it somehow? Probably, but it was mate in four. As soon as he did that, if he came back here, he would have at least survived for longer. So he moves there. Terrible move. Now I can activate my knight. Check. So now I'm thinking, all right, he can't go to these squares. Now he's got to come. He's got to come this way. His only available square. His only available square is this right here. C5. Now it's mate in three. I come through on E7. Check. Which actually wasn't the best move. Best move was to move this pawn up. I might have saw that, but I also, you know what? Maybe I missed that this bishop is protecting right here on you know, this bishop is protecting my pawn right here. So now he blocks my queen, but does he? But does he? Because it's mate in two right now. My queen comes through and puts him right back in check. He brings his knight over. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh, that was the best move at that point, but it was really the only move. Oh my gosh. A pawn check and some people might consider this a smothered checkmate too. But I'm more of a I prefer to consider the knight, comes through on one of these squares and it just puts him in checkmate and he can't move. But if you consider it that, then so be it. But personal preference. I came through with the disrespectful pawn to b4 checkmate. Like he's got this queen here, and there's nothing it can do. There's nothing it can do. My bishop is protecting this pawn right here. My queen is causing him to surround himself with his own pieces. I got my pawn right here, and this was just an absolute masterclass by me. Only 26 moves, and there you have it. That's the game. Let me transition out. So, again, my takeaways counterattacks are massive. Like, if he had a chance, if I didn't start putting him, let me go back. Let me go back. This right here. At this point in the game, he's got a strong attack on me. It looks and appears like his king is doing fine. But, all it takes is a couple moves before things turn around. All it took was that because after this point, I put him in check pretty much every time. Check, check, check. Every single move was a forced check. And if I didn't do all that, trust me, this queen was gonna come down, probably take this bishop. Now I gotta decide, where I'm gonna go. My rook probably is in danger. The game is probably in danger, but so my takeaways are, you know, force checks when they make sense because you saw my opponent. He tried the force checks, but if you don't really have a sustained attack, it's just a waste of moves. But but when it makes sense, or if you're in danger, force checks, awesome. And counterattacks, massive, massive. And king safety obviously should be prioritized. So I absolutely shipped up and deported this Mexican dude because he, I felt disrespected after he tried that stupid fried liver attack. And somehow he thought he was going to come with his bishop and put me in check. Like, so I took it personally. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Till next time, see ya.